afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. We're off here to a Monday novice fight, a 2 versus 2. So strap on your seatbelts and get ready for this to get messy. In particular, since there's a lot of players involved, we shall be watching in the southern part of the map here, Despolios, Gnarly Border, and Tony Horton, pro skater, fighting for Germany. Reich, both fighting here for the Oberkommando West. Rolling out here under the auspices of the 101st Panzer Brigade. Hastily assembled to counterattack the Soviet forces. Here with Sunbro and xvirus 2010. Fighting for the glory of Comrade Stalin. And the 10th Tank Corps. Commander immediately chosen by for xvirus is Guards Motor. Nothing for Sunbro, though we are noting he's got a lot of IS-2 bulletins, which could likely indicate an then shot rifle front line, since, well, all of his bulletins are towards IS-2s. We also know that Despolios has immediately chosen fortifications himself. That leaves Tony with breakthrough, Luftwaffe ground forces, and special operations. Back here too, xvirus first engaging in the center for the center victory point. Conscripts versus Storm Pioneers. Storm Pioneers and the conscripts need to get a bit into cover. I mean, its direction but also requires to stand next to it. But in this case, they forms back the Sturm Pioniere into heavy cover themselves.
Heavy machine gun team, prepare for combat.
Conscripts flank up. Volkswagen's covering nearby. Bit of reinforced steel barricade going around here, around the cut off there. Maxim up here, so noting xvirus has gone for support with Company, whereas Sunbro has for the Special Rifle Command, adding in the Scout Corps very soon. And looks like already here, xvirus is spamming Maxims. Troops moving up straight into it. Getting suppressed there. Truck standing about doing nothing. Truck standing about doing nothing as well. We've got troops there securing points here and there. Sturm Pioneers, 2 squads of those for Despolios at the moment. Lots of emphasis around here, but no real sort of efforts of pushing up the left flank at all. Could be a bit dangerous. There you go, got the M3A1 rolling in there for Sunbro. Focus out in the open. Maximum taking up position there. More confidence on the way here for xvirus. There you go, we got the Maxim getting flanked by the Sturm Pioneers. Volkswagen is being pushed off the field as well. Quickly turning actually in that direction and department. And noting here a battle group headquarters up here right next to the fuel point. An interesting idea there. Sturm Pioneers on their own. I mean, so far the actors have been limited on taking territory. We're seeing another battle group headquarters up here. Bit of an odd positioning there in some regards. Could backfire on them if they are not careful. Sturm Pioneers are getting suppressed. Troops moving in to finish them off. The Sturm Pioneers need to retreat. They will be less accurate while suppressed. There's no reason for Despolios here to keep fighting with the Sturm Pioneers. He just needs to get them away. All that. Sturm Pioneers fighting up. There's the combat inside the building. By themselves again, Commander Heavy Fires. You just retreat fully. Not really well executed there. The infantry should have supported the Sturm Pioneers. More Volkswagens moving up the right hand side. 3 Volkswagens here, by the way, for Tony. And my partner take-ups there. Mortar on the way to support xvirus.
Mortar team has arrived.
Well, a bit quiet. The Russians are sort of pushing mostly towards the centre and the right flank. The Germans could definitely then benefit from doing more up the left flank, maybe trying to sneak about here. An early fuel cache up as well for xvirus. Needs to be careful though with all those support weapons and infantry. That could put a lot of pressure on Sunbro, which could mean that Sunbro gets cleared out and then it all comes down to sort of xvirus, who can then be overwhelmed afterwards. Scout car there charging ahead. No anti-tank weapons. Sturm Pioneers were not close enough. Again, they were left on their own. Not really well wise they're done. There you go, we got a Panzer straight up, and there we go, might get the scout car there, might get it, no! Oh, gets away with a sliver of health. Got Max moving up to flank the positions there, troops moving up, MG-35 up there for Despolios. Volkswagens are getting slowly suppressed. They need more troops to reinforce them. If only either of the Axis players had gone for mechanized regiment, they could maybe have had something up to support, like say a flat half track instead. Meanwhile, good progress here from Despolios on the left flank. The Axis or allies to some extent are focused here, while the other player, Sken, the one who took most places, actually now not really doing much, leaving it again xvirus to do most of the work. He's going to be slow about it. Got engineers with flamethrowers, that could be a bit of trouble there for the battle group headquarters. Fighting continue, the country's not doing too well. I mean, not really a good building for them to fight from. Not a good building to fight from there, towards here. Strafniki arriving. Popping over here to Sunbro. We're scoring, in fact, for shock rifle. We do see, in fact, shock troops now sort of arriving to augment the troops. And there you go, got a flank going on against the maximum of the flamethrowers. Good, good. Still Handgranate, or not. Apparently not at all, since he doesn't have the munitions for it. Troops there continue to get suppressed, mortar and whatnot. Might want to consider something else, a slightly different approach here. Maybe also spreading out a bit. Not really working out there at all. Not sure why Volkers was set up. They've done ammunition instead of the Sturm Punish, would easily much done a lot more damage on the flank. Instead, it's up to Despolios to do the work there. Volkers advancing up. The MD-34 needs to shift away. There's a lot of buildings and such blocking his line of fire. That's not going to be effective long. Center open up there for the Russians to advance through. No sign of anything there from the Germans so far. And they're going to see an larger assault here on Tony Holden's position. So usually still supposed to make slight progress, but again, too many maxims. Quickly put a stop to that. Sunbro scout car makes an advance here. Straight on the foot, with a Panzer Schleck or a MNF and support. So we see grenades against, in fact, doing quite a bit of damage and clearing out some of the occupants there. Sunbro a bit too close and a bit too slow to get out of there. Watch more though. Again, the scout car makes away with a sliver of health. There goes shock troops bringing enemy for covering, mortar fire going down. And there goes satchel charges. Bears of the battle group headquarters again attacking up here. Grenades going in, truck of running, but overall this is not working out well. They need something else. But overall they're just resorting to already head-on assaults versus machine gun positions that are maneuvering around them. Which of course is more difficult. Max, what is this? Oh no! He's sending a Schwerpanzer headquarters straight in front of the enemy. I mean, you don't do that if you can absolutely avoid it. That's not what you do. They take more damage easy to hit. So right here, what he's doing is absolutely dumb. He's pretty much begging the opponent to wreck his Schwerpanzer headquarters and waste all those resources. I mean, right here, Tony is not exactly displaying himself as much of a tactician or strategist whatsoever. And that certainly leaves Despolios here to really do the most of the heavy carrying in this battle. And right there, of course, Schwerpanzer headquarters wrecked. In most cases, he could have maybe cancelled it in time, gaining some of the resources back. But even then, there will be a resource loss involved with that. So that is hardly good. Hardly good. Scout car once more on the move here. Not much to stop it. Infantry far removed to be able to support. And again, we see here now that Despolios sort of left to sort of support Tony, who's completely falling apart already within the first 10 minutes of the match. Bit wasteful to have Maxim shooting at it. Might as well focus more versus the infantry. Or for that matter, versus the more on the left flank. I mean, they're focusing an awful lot around here, which is giving Despolios more time to sort of build up and active push forward and secure territory. So in that regard, the Russians are getting a bit too single-mindedly focused on something as well. They are making some mistakes as well. A bit of tunnel vision, if you will. Or just resorting to the cheaper hits without any sort of further depth to strategy or tactics, which could again give Despolios some chance of sort of getting back in the fight. He does get a Schwerpanzer headquarters up himself. Also noting, he's got something with an MD-34 as well. He's in fact going for Luftwaffe. At this point, you should already be able to get some Fallschirmjägers out unless he's failed utterly to do any damage. At which point, he's not even going to have the command points for that. In which case, though, he should pop out and try to sort of attack the enemy from the other side, shifting up the formation a bit, maybe. Also, don't keep your MD-34 out in the open like that if you can avoid it. Slavniki straight into the MD-34 here. And looks like here, looks is here to maybe slightly save the day for the Germans. If utilised properly, it could do a lot of damage, in particular on the left flank, which is much more open. Of course, here head-on assault would end up badly with all the field guns available to the Russians. Noting by we hear that Sunbro has also gone for a support weapon company. Also a mechanized armor company for xvirus. Over to Tony Horton, again not a lot of units. We got the Lux providing support here. Striking versus the Russians. He does have access here to Volksmega, but again he's been suffering a lot of resource wastage. He basically doesn't even have the manpower to call them in. Hardly comforting, and there you go, the Lux is in a lot of trouble. Looks like he might be able to get out of that arc of fire, but needs to get away completely. Dangers here for the Lux. Dangers for the Aufklärungspanzer. And you've had 4 point comes, and they're going to tank grenade off. Oh, Scheiße. Couldn't make it away, Guards are doing in steel upon his counter tank from another side, and looks like he just makes it around the corner, barely escaping a horrific doom. Bloody hell. And now we're just seeing one stream here of Tony Horton striking into the centre. Looks like he needs to get back for repairs. You might even see the field gun here, in which case the Germans could take it and use it against the Russians, certainly get them some heavy anti-tank assets than just Panzerschrecks. Steel Pioneers being forced away. Fuel cache there could be wrecked. No response over the maximum finally moving on. There go field gun secure as well. Need to pull that a bit further back, maybe even pull it back for reinforcement and healing. Orbital down the way, that should definitely help Despolios out a bit. And there go field gun quickly flanked. Scout car coming into engagement here with a lot of Steel Pioneers. And of course maybe a Panzerschreck which could knock it out. No, suppressed already, so that might not happen. Head on assault here as well. MD-34 again in a bad position. Tony Horton doesn't seem to know that his MDs tend to benefit if they're placed in heavy cover. So not where it sort of feels convenient for him, which is not necessarily the best usage. And again, Volksmegas here could maybe do a bit of damage, pop in there, Panzerfaust, scout car from the rear, and then clear out some other weapons, but he doesn't really seem to utilise his Volksmegas either. So far only relying on the commander for the MD-34, which overall begs the question, why did he didn't go for it then? As that's its rather terribly limited usage of a doctrine. But at least the Germans actually somehow managed to push back the Russians, but I would say at a rather high cost, in particular Tony Horton there is bleeding out quite heavily. Quick grenade against the Volksgrenadier. Nice bit of damage, incendiary barrage down. 2 shock troopers scored awfully close to each other, got the MD-34 in a nice position. Gunning down towards Russians, yeah. Luke's receiving its repairs. Truck moving out here. What would he do next to this Tony Horton? There we go, Luke's ready to join the fight once more. An armoured version of the Panzer II, amongst other things with some of benefits turned into a reconnaissance tank. Not a lot were made though, and apparently it wasn't too popular either, except with a few sort of more special ops units who apparently seem to favour a bit there. I don't know. But there you go, finally got that scout car, finally took quite a bit, then he charged straight in, blindly, 4-6, straight into the enemy fire. Actually fire here for xvirus, good job there. Orbital down there for Despolios as well, increasing his firepower roll and giving a much better chance of wiping out Russian infantry. And there you go, the Guards to drop a PTRS. Oh, looks like, oh, nice, done here. Actually, someone managed to get around here. And someone managed to escape a horrific death. A bit of artillery for the Germans would be nice, though. We're noting here another Schwerpanzer quarters, this time up, though, for Tony Horton. Either of them could maybe benefit from a mechanized regiment, and maybe at this point a Stukas of Fusilier with just some light infantry guns from the battle group headquarters. Either way, so artillery would be quite good against, considering all the support weapons and whatnot the Russians are in possession of. Well, head-on assault here from Tony Horton. MD-34 needs to set up. Schnell. Not much going to set up here behind though. Goes smoke grenade, not bad, not bad. Decent reaction there from Sunbro. Turning into a bit of a meat grinder here. No attempt sort of manoeuvring. No attempt at barraging from the field guns either. Sturm Pioneers, by the looks of it, wiped out here for Tony Horton, and he gets a loose. I don't really think there's much reason to get two of them in particular, considering the sort of delays that Tony Horton suffered. If anything, he probably should be aiming for a Panther as soon as humanly possible, at the very least a Sturm Tiger instead of a Lux. And you need to sort of begin thinking ahead. But apparently that's not exactly Tony Horton's fault, as we might have already noticed a bit. MD-34 there needs to get away, or at least if they're to incendiary armor-piercing rounds. There you go, the second Lux Aufklärungspanzer arrives. Grenades going off. There we go, sprinting away with the Maxim, but again more Maxims arriving. Again, a lack of artillery here. And a lack of infiltrators to make the ambush from the rear and clear them out. Need to be careful that looks. Oh, but a lot of damage there to the shock troopers. Almost got the entire unit. That's always something. Folks goes in a lot of trouble. Needs to go. In fact, they're two bunched up. I mean, one good grenade here from xvirus there. Could wipe them up. Could wipe them up. Nine. Scheiße. Tony Horton has a lot to improve on there, and having over to Despolios, who's at least got a slightly bigger force and slightly more functional force at the moment. Though once more, Lux is in need of repairs. He is, on the other hand, also getting close to him to call in a Panther, which would do good. The follow-up could also be a Sturm Tiger to maybe clear out some of those support weapons and support positions. Oh, Katyusha has arrived as well. That could definitely cause some problems here for the Germans and the infantry. KV-8 has arrived. A lack of, well, any anti-tank besides a few Panther strikes has pretty much invited that. So again, good reaction there by Sunbro, and again, sort of, highlights the issues in their current strategy. I mean, it has a lot of gaps in it for the Germans here. A lot of things lacking. A lot of vulnerabilities. I mean, Luxes are not exactly going to be able to do anything to that. Infantry getting wiped out. So overall, that could have been done a bit better. No Raketen there for Harbor. There we go. Finally got a Panther on the way here. Finally. So only took them long enough. Katyusha, interesting enough, did not kill a single soul this time around. A bit unfortunate there. KV-8, oh, just a Panther strike blob now. A bit sad. Bit sad there, veteran 2 for the Lux though. Also, we've got zeroing artillery available. Also noting, by the way, I mean, he's got fortification. He had a Pack 43 up earlier, but there's been no sign of interest in that, which again, could have been something to help versus enemy armor. I mean, there's a lot of things that are lacking. Also, searing artillery cut on the right circumstances really devastate, for example, the positions over here in conjunction with an assault from Tony. So there you go, at least a Panzerkampfwagen arrives. Panzer might be able to get the chestnuts out of the fire here for Despolios and Tony. Lux need to go out there, getting flanked by the H-85. Bad news. Panzer still click to flank here. Now it's Katyusha straight into the advancing horde of infantry. Good reaction there by xvirus. Oh, Panther missed. Might be able to get the H-85 though. There you go, H-85 kaput. Another fuel catch-up. Looks like this one's been replaced as well, so some intent there from the Russians to get a lot of fuel in. Panther needs to get away though. They've also lost, and this Lux could also do with some repairs and then joining the fight, but again, Tony Horton seems a bit like a weak player. And notably weaker than everybody else here. Sector artillery. Interesting, interesting. No, I mean, it requires you can actually see what's going on there for it to work. So, I mean, if he just drops it behind enemy lines and drives away, it's going to be pretty useless, by the way. Close there to getting the entire units wiped out, but overall, I mean, he just popped 300 munitions and then ran away. Not a very good usage of the ability overall. I mean, he did at least get some kills, which is something, but, I mean, that could have been used a bit better. But time for the mid-game analysis. Current situation here, it's not exactly looking too good. Here again, Tony is definitely lacking behind everybody else. He's at half of time what xvirus has. It's both in kills and damage. That's not exactly a good sign. Despolios doing what he can. Sunbro sort of, well, alright, but he could also be doing better at the moment. But clearly Despolios and xvirus are sort of, you know, the best on either side. But of course, it's not to say all is perfect. The Germans are suffering heavy loss again. It's partly because, again, Tony Horton is passive and, again, has some pretty terrible tactics. It just basically comes down to throw your enemy, well, units at the enemy and see what happens. Lux is barely seeing any usage either. He could have maybe tried to flank at times, but that's not really happening either. There's no sort of real aggressive reconnaissance. No use of his doctrine besides getting MD-34s, not a single fudge maker to cause a bit of havoc behind enemy lines and strike from the other side. So in that regard, there's a lot of problems there for Tony. But, I mean, he's getting close to be able to call in a panther. That could actually work. I mean, that's one option. Another could be, you know, if he's being a bit silly, you know, save up, get a mechanized regiment headquarters, then begin saving up for a King Tiger. I mean, that could work, but it could also work out horribly. But getting on in hand a mechanized regiment, then going for a Stukas Fuß could work out. Part of me, though, would say you should go for a Sturmtiger that way, sort of slowly blow up anti-tank guns and the likes in one horrific go. I think that could work out reasonably well. Despolios should also consider mechanized regiment headquarters, so at least he doesn't have to constantly manage repairing his tanks. He's got 2 of them now, and he's also got only 1 Storm Pioneer unit, so mechanized regiment headquarters for Despolios would be a good, you know, do a lot for him. He should also consider doing more with his doctrine. A Pack 43 in the right spot could definitely put a lot of pressure upon the Russian armor. For example, keep things a bit safer that way. A few S-man fields could also have been a much better choice than, for example, that sector artillery. So, I mean, there's those things there to keep in mind. Russians are suffering some losses. A few unexpected things happening, but overall they are doing alright. xvirus in particular, they might want to sort of try and push up me on the right flank a bit more, try to force, again, Despolios have to extend to a larger amount of territory, because again, Tony can't be relied on very well. So, I mean, that might be something there to consider. Another Katyusha would also be a good job versus all the infantry, but more H-35s would also work, or he could even consider setting up some T-30-35s, adding in some armor that way to sort of strike them down. For Sunbro, I mean, a bit more infantry would also help and a bit more armor, but it looks like he's about to hit an IS-2. But again, you know, overall they should consider more action over here, and again trying to spread out the Germans more than sort of rolling down everybody as they're too thinly spread out. But back to the fight here, back to the fight. Also noting several mortars here for xvirus. Tony Horton's own orbital gun doing what they can here. Getting a bit blasted down.
LC-85 tank destroyer ready.
Steel hand granatas left and right. More Katyusha barrels on all of these clustered up troops. Good target, good target. Tony needs to learn to spread out his men a bit. So easy artillery target, in particular for Katyusha. IS-2 ready to move in. Panther not being repaired. He didn't pull away his Storm Pioneers. He didn't finish repairing them. I mean, come on. If you got 2 damaged tanks, you put a lot of resources in. Properly maintain them. That's definitely not okay. That is actually a bit rubbish. So you know, that's what you strike at there in sort of the big Monday Novice book. Poor armor maintenance. Really poor armor maintenance. In fact, poor armor maintenance priorities even. So it's definitely not what I like to see. Oh god, the entire Volkswagen squad in one horrific hit. 5 men dead. Turn to, well, splat. That could have gone definitely better for the Germans, but alright. And he still hasn't repaired his Luxan. He hasn't used it at all. So why did he even go for it? I mean, come on, Tony. Make an attempt. There you go, an assault going on the right flank. Good to see the Maxim there cleared out. There we go. Actually, farming in. Lux needs to pull back. Get the Lux out of there. Taking heavy hits there, though. Katyusha firing in. Infantry in trouble. No further support. And looks like the Katyusha got some infantry squads there. Wiped. Panther joining in. The Lux also soon ready to join in. Overall, the Germans are slowly getting pushed back. That much progress made in the longer run. Got a smaller stand here. And you find Orbital Darden getting pushed back as well. Artillery fire going down, quite a bit of damage here to the troops. And we got a airborne strike down here, not towards the point where all the units are, which could have done some damage to, for example, the 85 and some other things there. So I know that could have been done better as well, and poor Jürgen did not make it down safely, by the way. Though, of course, that was generally accounted for. In fact, usually you'd find that airborne squads, at least for the Fallschirmjäger, were actually larger than a regular infantry squad, because, again, you know, they had to account for the fact that usually, I mean, a certain amount of troops would get lost, or, well, wounded, or basically rendered incapable on drop. So a little fun fact there, but there you go, Panther driving in, but straight into the den of the line. H-85's IS-2's flying down upon it. Need to at least get out the KV. There's nothing there. Fallschirmjäger needs to get away. Needs to get up some anti-tank, but again, there's nothing happening from Tony. There's not enough proper support for his men. Fallschirmjägers need to retreat. Come on, Tony. Come on, man. Once more, Tony manages to lose an awful lot of troops. At least he's managed to sort of break the right flank. I suppose that counts for something. But he wasted those Fallschirmjägers, to be quite frank. Volkswagen's leading the way here for Despolios with their punch effects. And that failed to penetrate. Oh, that was one hell of a lucky Katyusha strike there. One rocket almost wiped out the entire unit. So personally, I'll just use the concentrated barrage for that, or at least attempted it. Panther moving up their punch attacks. Can the Panther do it? Strafniki moving in here from Sunbro to try and clear things up. Grenades go off. Almost got the entire Volkswagen squad there with a nice mortar strike here from the heavy mortar by the looks of it. Maximum there, almost up in the Volksgrenadiers. And we got a DP drop there. In fact, lots of equipment there could be seized by the Germans and used against the Russians. And we really should get some infantry up, then recruit the Maxim and get the DP. Also try and get the field gun. I mean, the more equipment he can get in the use versus the Russians, the better. The Lux is somehow still operating as well here for Despolios. Popping out to Sunbro. Geballte Ladung. Did not kill the gunner. Obsan getting out of there, that's good. Ken there for firing. There you go, a few good hits. Panther back to repaired. Mechanized regiment headquarters up here for Tony. Not trading munition fuel though, he should definitely consider that. The more fueling you get, the faster the better. In particular, seeing he's got tons of fuel, it definitely seems like he's aiming for a King Tiger. Now understanding that's his only option with the Panther. Three up headquarters destroyed. But again, trade them for fuel so you can at least get there faster. Be fast about it, man. And now he's sending his looks in there. Lone, a bit dangerous, Need to keep it properly supported. It's reconnaissance, of course, but even then, I mean, it can't exactly survive a direct confrontation with the enemy very well. Luke's making its way up through the left flank. Panther moving in again. Russians could stand to sort of keep things a bit more covered. Need to push up the right flank a bit more supported properly. Heavy losses inflicted. The Russians seem to be getting a bit punished for the fact they were a bit passive. They didn't even try to push the Germans beyond a certain point, which has rather been to the advantage of the Germans at the moment. MB-34 here though with Veteran C3. You got the heavy mortar continuing to bombard away. Looks like Luke's here might be able to clear out the shock troopers. Heavy fire, heavy fire. The Germans somehow seem to manage, even Tony Horton somehow doing something. It's a miracle. KV-8s are waiting to be repaired. Now the Russians are the ones having a bit of trouble. They're keeping their armor repaired properly. That's definitely something they need to sort of fix. And looks at very close to destruction, very close. Sliver of health. Very close to Veteran fleet. Panther moving up there, Veteran 2. And got the heavy mortar there, my god. We got a second Panther arriving for Despolios. He could have considered maybe a Storm Tiger, but a Panther number 2 also works. Looks like he might be able to get it. Luke's not pulling back. Main gun destroyed. Scheiße, Günther. Drive. Ach, nein. And by the way, not recruiting the field gun either. Not recruiting the field gun to add some more serious anti-tank assets. And still, neither are the Maxims recruit or the DP. I mean, there's a lot of crew equipment they could have used against the enemy, but no interest in that. I mean, come on, Tony. You're embarrassing Germany. Panther with orbital down supporting ahead. Straight into a field gun. There you go, Katyusha Ballard strikes the precision of Tony on the right flank. Despolios needs to pull back his Panther before it's knocked out.
We have lost a machine gun crew.
Tony somehow holding on for the time being, but it rather looks like he's getting at the end of his ropes. There you go, Incendio Ballard pretty much forces a retreat there. Forces were able to pick up a DP, thus getting themselves a light machine gun. That's nice for them.
Isolated sector.
Panther still not really getting any repairs again. Oh, there we go, he's finally getting a mechanized regiment headquarters. Only took him, what, 20 minutes? He's still not trading for fuel, by the way. It looks like he might be getting a King Tiger now. Yes, indeed, Königstiger on survey. Looks moving to support the orbital done there. In an attempt to gain the centre victory point. Again, I mean, he tends to sort of be heavily focused on one point in time. Again, there's tends to be sort of little flanking action. There we go. Tony trying to make progress here, but quickly getting stopped by Maxim again. Again, although small units are on the way. Looks like the Fox goes up here with the DPR trying to flank in. That's nice. And a full Maxim recovering the fuel point. Oh, almost got the Maxim there, almost. But getting suppressed by another Maxim. He's moving until he goes down. Yeah, charging up the centre. Panther firing. Panther though heavily damaged. Lots of field guns. There's also the chance of the actually firing. There we go. Königstiger. Falling vorwärts. Nasty hit there on the Panther. Veteran 2 for the eyes. 2 increasing range. Russians slightly moving up the centre. MD there on the Königstiger. Infantry there. Proceed to shoot at the Maxim. Might want to shoot at the infantry that's closer. Infantry. Now we got the HD5 moving forward. You might want to either move forward and deal with it or pull back. Currently he starts letting the HD5 shoot his King Tiger, gaining veterancy through the process. Now he's finally pulling it back there. Got a pair of HD5s arriving for xvirus. And he's activating the King Tiger, straight into the line of fire of the HD5 and the field gun, taking a lot of damage in the process. Apparently a few good lucky shots there from the HD5. Penetrates the otherwise thick sloped armor. Needs to pull the King Tiger back to his base now. Repairs. Pull it back. He's still not trading resources, by the way. Got the T-35 fizz rolling ahead. No Panther Shreks on, by the way. He says King Tiger's going to be alone here as the two HD5s move in. Nice hit there. Panther's being rolled in here from Despolios. Blitzkrieg would be good. Pull the King Tiger further back here. Nice hit there, down to less health, but there we go. HD85 got the King Tiger and a few good hits there. Panther went down there, isolated and knocked out here by the two T-35s and the IS-2. Maybe the other Panther should have supported that either way. Knocks out the best of armor tactics there by Tony. Which of course also affected Despolios. Basically showing that King Tiger was just a waste of resources. Okay, MNF are not quite pointing in a helpful direction. You got the T-35s there breaking through the front line. Everything's collapsing at the moment. Looks like that Panther's about to get knocked out. You got Artillery going down there like MNF, but Schwerpanzer quarters firing in. There we go. Panther kaput. Panther artillery kaput. Bunch of MG-34s there containing a thin front line. If only there had been a pack fully fleet to support things, maybe this would have gone slightly different. Over to Despolios, who's got resources again for searing artillery. He might have wanted to consider using all those munitions on mines. And infantry seriously attacking a KV-8. It would certainly seem like Tony isn't entirely aware of what he's dealing with. At this point, it's largely looking like... Oh, Despolios not really trading for fuel either. Oh, finally though, Tony's doing it. They took him long enough. Overall, there's been several sort of larger strategic mistakes there from the Germans. I mean, certainly also from the Soviets. I mean, again, they've been too passive half the time, but it's really been the sort of the Germans fumbling through this fight heavily. In particular, Tony.
Enemy movement! On the flank! Ready for deployment!
Speeding this up a bit. Exactly left again, moving up here. Again, not really recurring weapons. Seems like a really nasty habit there from Tony. Okay, MNF are getting outmaneuvered pretty heavily. And gone. Not exactly a lot left in this match here. Armor charging through the ever thin lines. Another Panther all the way here for Despolios, but it's about to get well wrecked. And there we go. No more spare parts at quarters either. And veterancy free for the IS-2. That thing is just dominating now. And there you go, game over. A loss there to the Germans. A victory for the Soviet Union, albeit a bit close at times there. Again, the Soviets to a certain extent, they were a bit too passive at times. Again, they basically just decided we go to here and no further, which is all actually a bit of a bad strategy. So in that regard, there were some problems. Their unit compositions, they were all right. Too many maxims of the field, though, from the Russian player there on the left. What was his name? Sunbro there. He could have had some infantry up soon. I think to a certain extent, that made him a bit more easy to deal with once the other player had collapsed. So there were some problems there as well from the Russians. I think Sunbro, I think it was xvirus. Either way, some problems there in that regard. But I should know there were some nice combinations there. They certainly both made use of their doctrine, which is always a plus. For the Germans, on the other hand, though, huge problems. For example, Despolios only used the MG-34 and the Syrian artillery in that once. I mean, that was overall not good. He didn't use any mines, for example. There's no pack for it. Overall, he made a terrible use as commander. So in that regard, the question is, why did he go for that? If he just more or less went for it for the MG-34, then he should have gone for another commander. He could have used more from. I will say this as a general rule of thumb. If you can only find one ability to use in the doctrine, you actually sort of really use it, consider using something else. So I mean, really that's something in particular, since that's more or less what Tony Horton did. He used these more or less, again, just for MG-34s. There was barely any Fallschirmjäger because that was only used by this one again. I mean, terrible doctrinal uses there from the Germans, amongst other things. Terrible armor usage, too slow and sort of, maybe using mechanized regiments to at least repair the vehicles. No fuel trade for a large part of the fights as well. Terrible armor tactics, terrible armor repair tactics. I mean, there were a lot of problems there which really kept the Germans behind. Again, Tony really needs to sort of up his game. It was very flat, very sort of head-on. No real attempts at flanking half the time, no aggression, no recruiting of enemy weapons. There was so much equipment they could use to sort of make things easier for himself, but he never did it. I mean, it was just basically that over and over again. There were a lot of problems there. A lot of problems, and it hurt them massively, and it made things a lot easier for the Russians. I mean, note here again, tons of damage for the other, tons of kills. Tony, yeah, sort of. I mean, a lot of problems there. I mean, he was really sort of the weak point of the fight, a weak point on the German team. He needs to sort of work as an infantry tactics. He needs to basically play some 1 versus 1s and learns how to play the game on his own before he plays team games. Because I find a lot of players sort of tend to get a lot of bad habits if they only play team games. When you play 1 versus 1s, a lot of them tend to sort of go out of the way because they tend to arrive because you can rely on someone else to cover up those mistakes. So if you play some 1 versus 1s, you'll generally find if you sort of do well, you can sort of at least get rid of some of them. So that's a little thing there to consider. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you've learned something. That's rather the point of the Monday novice fight. If you did, feel free to subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If not, send in a replay and provide some feedback in the comments. Also, consider, disabling that block, or maybe donating. Donations are always welcome. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers, and thank you all for watching. See you another time. Bye.